Okay, the equation is degrees of the arc over 360, so part over whole equals arc length over circumference, again, part over whole. And you set it up like this, and then you can cross multiply. So we'll do 360 times x equals, and then 125 times the circumference. The diameter, as it shows, is 6, so we'll plug in a 6 here. So circumference would be pi times 6. And so we'll do 125 times 3.14 times the diameter, which is 6, and it comes out to this number, 2355. And then from here, divide both sides by 360. And then that's how you get the 6.54. So x equals 6.54, which represents the length of just this part of the circle. Okay, then for the next one, it's the same exact process, so just practicing it one more time. Now it wants to know the measure or the degrees of the arc PQ, or this angle here, because the central angle will be the same as the degrees of the arc. So we put the degrees over 360, and we're solving for x now, equals arc length, which it shows is 5, over circumference, pi times diameter. Pi times, it shows the radius is 4, so diameter would be 8. And then we can solve it. So x times this, so 8 times 3.14, 25.12, x equals 360 times 5 is 1800. Divide by 25.12 on both sides. And x equals 71.66 degrees. And that represents the degrees of this central angle as well as the degrees of that arc. Okay, and then these down here are some spiral review questions. For 43, it says find the length of the mid segment of the trapezoid. So it wants the length of this segment, MN. The mid segment is at the midpoint of each of these segments, and it's also parallel to the bases of the trapezoid. It is actually the average or the middle number in between the length of the bases. So to find that, we can do 5 plus 13 and then divide by 2. So I'd get 18 divided by 2, which is 9. So this length, MN, is 9. And then you might make sure it's logical. If you add 4, you get 13. If you subtract 4, you get 5. So yes, 9 is the middle number in between 5 and 13. Okay, and then 44 and 45 review the equation of a circle. It says find the center and the radius and graph the circle. So equation of the circle was x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals the radius squared. H and k are the center of the circle. So here it doesn't have x minus anything or y minus anything. So that means that the center is at 0, 0. And then the radius would be square root of 16, which equals 4. So then to graph it, you just make a coordinate plane. This is a very common question on testing. It wants to know that you understand like the equation of a circle and can graph from it. So put the center at 0, 0, and then the radius is 4, so just count out 4 units in each direction. This graph doesn't quite fit it, but we'll make it work. And then there's our circle. Okay, and 45, it actually doesn't fit on the graph. So for 45, we'll just find the center and radius and not graph it. So the center would be positive 3, positive 7. So it's a positive number for each of those because the minus is part of the equation. And then radius, we'll take square root of 81, and we get 9. And that does all. Okay, and now we're going to switch to 11.2. So just like new page, and we're going to start right